Cancer. Hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late March 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Cancer Collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for these beautiful Cancerians as we move on into Aries season, late March? It's a lovely time of year. Hope you're all feeling fine. But what energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Cancer in late March. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this going. What do we got? Thank you. Cool. I like this. I saw this for one of the fire signs, I believe, or maybe one of the air signs. And this card does visit from time to time. And I know the image is funny. It always makes me crack a smile. But what it implies is actually a very good thing. It's like very honest and sharp and shrewd in a very positive way. It's intellectual stimulation. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the March subscriber surprise towards the end. So you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this. So as you can see, we have this monkey sitting right there, and he's dressed up as Shakespeare, right? He's got the little skull contemplating the mysteries of life, sitting on a tower of books, little typewriter. There's papers flying everywhere. There's mathematics in the background. Now, overall, this reminds me of the Ace of Swords, where it's just very cerebral, very smart, very intelligent, extremely sharp. And that's actually a good thing. So for some cancers, maybe there's certain things where it's like, all right, I'm seeing it clearly, or at least I'm trying to. I love the clarity that this card has. It is extremely smart, very intelligent. So for some of you, again, this might just be intellectual stimulation, where Spirit's like, hey, now's a great time to learn new things. Now's a great time to take in and process information. Now, for some of you, maybe you are searching, right? Like with all the books and all the papers flying everywhere, this does imply someone searching for information. But I just love the mindset. Now, the only downside to this card with so much focus on the logical mind is that sometimes it can overthink. So in this time, very important. And again, that's easier said than done, where it's like, oh yeah, Kyle says don't overthink. Yeah, I'll just do that. You know, sometimes we get trapped in those spirals, but this energy is like, don't overcomplicate, like keep something simple. So we're going to let him chill out right there. He could keep thinking about the mysteries. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Cancer. What do we got in late March, please? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It was titled They Have a Plan, and it seemed like strategy was the name of the game last week. So for some of you, maybe it was how Spirit wants you to tackle something in a planned out, structured way. I know as someone with water sign placements myself that a lot of times we like to just go with the flow, but sometimes a little structure might be necessary. Now, again, if it wasn't you in the strategy and planning phase, it could have been somebody else you're connected to, where there's like motives and planning behind how they're moving. So we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for Cancer. What's happening in late March? Thank you. Cool. Devil. All right. It doesn't ruin the reading. Let's not freak out about the little devil card right here in the front. And remember, that's just the start of the reading. It is something that does require our attention and further digging, but let's see what else. What else do we got here for Cancer? 5 of Cups. Okay. Let's get one more. I don't want to judge it too early because we still have a lot of things to do, a lot of clarifiers, but there is definitely something that could use a little attention. That's how it's feeling to me. What do we got for Cancer in late March? Thank you. Strength. Cool. Good. I'm happy this card came out, especially with the combination of stuff we got up here in the front. Strength actually makes me feel a whole lot better. So for some cancers, especially those of you that might be going through some difficulties or a rough time, this energy here on the back end is like relief, a reprieve. So that's good. Let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. At first glance, I always like to look at the elements that really builds the foundation for the reading and tells us how the energy is flowing. And this week, you have a nice mixture. Regardless of this stuff going on up here in the front, you have a nice mixture of elements. We have earth, water, which actually work very well with Cancer energy, and then we have a little bit of fire. So maybe these are separate, different things, right? Now, when it comes to earth, that could represent feelings of stability and security, or inner security. It's routine, it's day to day life. Earth energy ties in with work, business, money, finances, business. Um, could also be home and family. Think of the material aspects of life. That's what I always think of with earth energy. But the downside to earth energy, and I always like to give you both sides of the coin, earth energy could sometimes feel a little stuck. There could be a little impatience or a feeling like I'm not making any progress. That's out the downside of this. Moving into the middle, we have water. And as I mentioned, earth and water combining actually is a recipe for blessings, even though the cards themselves are difficult. But water energy, that's your power element, that's your comfort zone. That's the realm of emotions and feelings, the inner world, matters of the heart, things or people that we might be emotionally invested in, things that we care about. It's great for creativity. So, whether it's creative problem solving, creative expression, getting things off the chest, water energy is great for that. The downside to water is that the waters can be overwhelming, right? As with all emotions, it can overtake you. It could drown you, literally. And again, I'm not saying that's definitely going to happen, but you know how emotions can be sometimes, where it's just a little too much. And water energy is always coming and going. It's a waxing, waning back and forth, just like the tides. So we'll look at that. On the back end, we do have fire, which is cool. So fire is the realm of action. So the actions we take, the actions other people take, the actions we want to take, the actions we don't take. I think of health. I think of wellness. I think of energy levels. So whether your energy levels are high or low, fire is strong with that. Think of passion, something that lights a spark within us, desire. The downside to fire is the unpredictability, right? Fire could be a little explosive. So it's like we have a mixture of stuff happening. Let's go through and start building it out piece by piece. Position number one, we're starting with the devil. Now, for a portion of you, this could just represent a Capricorn. If you have Capricorn placements, boom, right there. Nice and easy. We don't have to worry about it. And we're not saying Capricorns are devils if you're cross watching. It's only due to the goat symbolism. But the devil, like all cards, does have some ups and downs. Believe it or not, this isn't only negative. It's not only a problem. It's not only a warning. The devil, in the positives, is great for the material aspects of life. So whether it's things that you own, things that you purchase, work, business, money, the devil card is very, very good for the material aspects of life, because this card does tie into the world around us. It's really strong. And even if you dig into the deeper aspects of the card itself, it ties to the material world. The downside, it could represent attachments. It could represent things, situations, issues, problems that we've been experiencing for a long time. When this energy gets under the skin, it's hard for it to move forward. Because I would say the overarching theme with the devil card is that it's a very slow moving type of situation or energy, where it's like, all right, this took a while, or this will take a while. So we really do want to look at it. Sometimes it could represent obsession. Sometimes it could represent thought loops, jealousy, things like that, toxicity. But we're not always going to go worst case scenario, right? I'm just trying to tell you some of the things the devil could represent. For all intents and purposes, we're just going to say that this devil card is something that's not quite new, or something that's been sticking around for a while. So we'll see what's up. Now, moving to the middle, we have the Five of Cups. And a lot of readers like to call the Five of Cups the River of Tears. See this person, they're all dressed in black and they're crying, they're upset. But notice that not all the cups are knocked down. So I always say with the difficult cards, it's always on a spectrum. For some cancers, you might just be a little bit gloomy. Maybe you've been a little down in the dumps. And we already spoke about energy levels. That could all play in here. The Five of Cups can also range all the way up to things like depression, brokenheartedness, stuff like that. But the good side of this card is that there is still something off in the horizon. The cups are still standing. This isn't a total loss. This is something that could be temporary. So even with the devil here, any issues, problems, or things you might be dealing with, the Five of Cups tells us like this is a bump in the road, which is good. Now, moving to the back end, we have the big silver lining of the whole entire reading. We have the Strength card. And that could connect to Leo energy. Maybe some of you have Leo placements. That is your zodiacal neighbor. And We see this angelic being that has the infinity symbol over their head. This is also a karmic card. But what is she doing? She's taming that beast. She's solving that issue. She's working through that problem with love as opposed to brute force. She's not forcing it. She's kind of allowing. And that's something I saw in last week's reading as well, where there's this energy of just allowing something to do what it's going to do. Strength can represent someone's personality, who they are on the inside, their character as a person. And it is usually a softer touch. Now, what might be the downside? This card can sometimes represent resistance, right? Like strength. It's like I'm going to push back, or I'm going to resist the urge to do something. So watch out for temptations in this time. That's a big thing with strength, where like spirit might test you out when this card is here. But I want to dive deeper on all this, Cancer. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. Let's see what's happening for Cancer, please. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that devil. Let's see what he has to say. So why is the devil here for Cancer this week, please? Why is the devil here for my good friends? Thank you. Yeah, it's very hard to shake. It's very hard to shake. And again, speaking as someone that has multiple water placements myself, I know that a lot of times people with water placements can experience things, problems, situations in a different way than the other signs, right? The Six of Swords is usually a card of moving forward. It's usually a card of improvement, coming out of choppy waters into the calm. So this is like a step back that I'm picking up here. The Six of Swords is usually, just improving. So when I see it in reverse, it's either an energy that seems to loop back around, or it's a flare up, or it's just something that seems to continue to drag on and on and on. So for some Cancers, there might be a situation or a problem you may be dealing with where it's like, I've been dealing with this for a while, or I've been feeling this feeling for a while. Um, we need to see how it all turns out as we move forward. But yeah, the Six of Swords in reverse underneath the devil is like, am I ever going to be free of this feeling? Like, or it's, am I ever going to shake this, whatever this is? And again, this could be a lot of things. It could be like money and work and business, family, personal relationships. But this seems to be under the skin. Now, again, we still have a lot more to go. So I don't want anyone to feel hopeless or anything like that. Um, yeah, watch out for like addictive tendencies too. That's like another thing to watch out for, in whatever form that shows up in. Because yeah, the devil with the Six of Swords, it's like, no, this is what it is, and this is what it's going to be. Like, so to me, it feels like I've taken a step back potentially. So if you've been making like progress, just it's like one step back. I don't feel like it's a full collapse. Let's keep moving. Let's see what the Five of Cups has. Because I did say that earlier in the reading that like something feels like it's not a total loss. It just feels like a step back. So again, watch out for problems or situations that seem to just stick with you. But let's go in on that five. Or again, this could be somebody else, right? It doesn't have to be you. So why is that Five of Cups? The more things change, the more things stay the same, right? Like that's kind of what I'm picking up here. Cool. All right. So now I'm feeling better. Now I'm feeling better. So we have one of your power cards. We got the Knight of Cups in the upright underneath this Five of Cups. Okay. So it's all about where you put the energy, that I think is very important with whatever it is that these cards are representing, problem situations, whatever it is. Because the Five of Cups, clarified by the Knight of Cups, does definitely show like someone that's going through a bit of an up and down emotionally, right? Like usually in the upright, he's great. He's, moving forward. Knights are action and they're messengers. But to me, it's like the best way I can put it is detoxing. Okay. Not saying that you're specifically going to be detoxing from something, but with this energy here, and I have the Five of Cups and the Knight of Cups in the upright, it's like, okay, I need to cleanse myself of this energy, whatever it is. So for some of you, this could be advice from spirit. Maybe you need some nice spiritual cleansing or grounding or something like that, because it feels like some kind of detox. That's just the best way I can put it. I like it. I like where it moves forward. Now, to me, with the devil energy, there could be something that's been lingering under the surface for a while, and it does need to get moved. But there's a lot of ways to do that. And I always advise that it could be done through physical activity. It could be done through hobbies, and you name it. There's a lot of ways to move stagnant energy out. It's not just meditating all day. Like there's ways to physically and creatively move the energy out, which is also very important for water signs as well. Everyone knows water signs are very creative, and that's the bonus to feeling all these deep feelings, right? So spirit, to me, it's like a detoxing through action. Detoxing through action. So whatever it is, it's solvable. Let's keep moving. Let's go in on the strength card, then we'll do a quick recap before we get into the shadow. So already it's moving in a good direction. I could say that. Like even here, it's moving in a good direction, even if it's not always easy. But let's see what's up with strength. So why is it here? Why is strength here? Okay. Okay, cool. So another one of your power cards right there. We got the beautiful Queen of Cups in the upright. Lovely. Now, I don't want to be cliche with how all this does present itself, because it does have part of that archetype that I think a lot of us have already spoken about, where it's like we go through a difficult trial or chapter, we go through the process, we gain wisdom and experience from it, and then we are better because of it. That's how this feels to me. There is this payoff in the end for whatever this process is. So I love that there's a silver lining. I love that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So just know, specifically those of you that might be going through a difficult time, whether you're here, whether you're there, whether you're already here. To me, it's like I've been through the storm, and that it makes me better for it. That's the best way I can put it. Like especially with one of your power cards here. Now, if this isn't a water sign that you're connected to, because it can be, right? Queen of Cups, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Um, Usually it's a nice balanced, very nurturing, very creative type of energy. So like when I see it sitting in its power underneath the strength card, it has turned all of this into a benefit somehow. So it's like I've turned it on its head. That's what I love about that. That's what I love about this. That's what I think is the silver lining and the most claimable part of this whole entire reading, is where it's like I took this devil, I transmuted it, and now it's a strength, right? So like the proverbial turning lemons into lemonade, right? I'm trying not to be cliche, but that's how it feels. So there is like an energetic payoff to whatever that energy is. But let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. I like where the energy ends, but if you kindly look in the box, position number one, we start in a little bit of a rough spot, right? We got the devil with the Six of Swords in reverse. To me, it felt like a two-step forward, one-step back type of deal. Situation or a problem that seems to just be under the skin, or a process that could be lasting longer than someone would like. Um, I don't hate it. I did say watch out for things that like flare up or like that one step back type of deal, but it is problematic and it is something that probably needs attention. Moving to the middle, I have the Five of Cups with the Knight of Cups in the upright, and this does feel like some kind of energetic detox. So again, whether it's talking with somebody about it, whether it's doing some sort of creativity or physical activity, it's like I'm detoxing this energy and I'm transmuting it, and we see it on the back end where I am better because of it. I've turned the frown upside down. I've turned the lemon into lemonade with the strength and Queen of Cups in the upright. So I like it. Whatever situation this is showing up, it's not permanent. And I just love where it's going because it becomes a strength. It turns a weakness into a strength. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into that further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for you. And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they could be a good thing. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get this shadow card out. What do we got? Thank you. Cool. Beautiful. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune. I'll take it. This is one of the positive shadow cards, and we will take it, but it is an energy that's also karmic, and it's like very prone to shift rapidly. So I'll say this, when I get the Wheel of Fortune anywhere in the spread, whether it's an upright or reverse or in the shadows or up front as the very first oracle card, I feel like it's expansive. It's Jupiter energy. It's lucky. So it's like luck will be on my side, or the winds are turning. I think that's really good, especially with the journey we saw within the reading this week. So I like this, where it's like Lady Luck is smiling upon me. That's beautiful. But if we look at the shadow side of the wheel, which we will, you know how I like to do it, The Wheel of Fortune could be a little wild sometimes, right? Like it's not like the World card where it moves slowly. This one's very sudden, very rapid, very quick. So when I see it in the shadows, there are big energy fluctuations that I'm picking up, whether it's attached to this situation we're looking at or whether it's something different. But overall, I feel good about the wheel here. It is protective, but it is also karmic and transformative. So we're going to put it down right there, Cancer. That's what I got for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the March subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight into your situation and you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The March calendar is live and spots go quick, so you could go check that out. But for the March subscriber surprise, we're doing another winner's choice. I will choose 3 subscribers to win either a copy of the Everyday Witches Tarot, beautiful deck, or handmade crystal pendant, which I showcase at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, what zodiac signs do you get along best with? Which ones are your favorite? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.